Yo, what's going on, guys? That was aggressive. I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. Wow, I hope I did not spook you. I hate jump scares, guys. Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. No, man. What's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy, guys. For today's video, we got something that actually seems really, really interesting. So y'all know JJ Redick. JJ Rhetoric has a podcast, and on this podcast, he talks about things. Typically what a podcast is, man. So this one, we got Kevin Love on being the third guy behind LeBron and Kyrie in Cleveland's big three. That's so interesting, man, just because, you know, LeBron and Kyrie both are big personalities, you know, kind of divas, drama queens, drama kings, whatever you want to say, man. And, you know, Kevin Love went from being, like, the best player wherever he was his entire life. Well, I don't know who was better. Because he played with Russell Westbrook at UCLA. Who was better that year? I don't remember the age difference, man. But yeah, so he went from being that to having to be a third option. You know, coming off historic numbers on the T-Wolves and having to sacrifice. So let's hear about this. See what the man's got to say. He's also drinking. It's a very small glass of wine.
I'm wondering.
I usually feel like right there, man.
The game
changed top it off.
And the positional requirements changed. It seemed like a lot of that change happened when you got to Cleveland.
Yep.
How's it only got 50K subscribers?
And sacrifice. You know, I think really of any position or anybody on the team, I felt I did have to sacrifice the most.
Timothy Mozgov says hello.
We'll call it
on the
adjustment period, or learning curve was likely a lot steeper than most or all on the team. So,
but the thing is that you did have historically something to look at. You literally had a guy that played like a similar or same position in Chris Bosh that did it right before you. So I mean, he literally the same circumstance, right? Like all-star on Toronto Raptors, having to be the third option, D-Wade, LeBron James. So at least he did have that. Chris Bosh did not have that pleasure.
You know, he had two ball-dominant guys. You know, Kyrie's a magician with the ball. We've all seen that before. But LeBron is just a once-in-a-generation talent, you know, arguably the greatest player ever, you know, playing downhill. He's a freight train. So it's like, all right, this is how we're going to set up. We're just going to get out of the way. We're going to space everybody around. We're going to put, you know, J.R. Smith. We're going to put Iman Shumpert. We're going to put, you know, Kevin Love in the corner. So a lot of my
used to be a post player.
You know, positioning on offense was either being at the break or in the corner. So like if I was running, I typically wasn't running for a layup, or, you know, the beginning of the game, I wasn't posting up.
You were Kelly Olynyk
dunker, and then we would space the other, you know, three around while Braun was either playing a pick and roll or just opening up the floor for both those guys. So I really had to transition, you know, my body into being a little bit lighter, maybe not as light as I, you know, was when I came in, but also I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to shoot a lot of.
You was a big boy coming into the NBA.
And that was 25 years, or I should say at the time it was probably 20 to 20 plus years of organized basketball. You know,
playing a certain way.
Dad and having a teacher that tells me, okay, we're playing from the inside out. Yeah. We're gonna start here. This is gonna be your first touch. You're either gonna get a nice post touch, post move.
You know, low key, that's really why I respect players like Brook Lopez. Like Brook Lopez, franchise leader in scoring, I believe, on the New Jersey/Brooklyn Nets, played on the inside, post player, and literally he's now asked to just be like a 7-foot guy that shoots threes. I mean, he plays defense too, but, you know, around like Giannis and stuff. So I respect any of these big guys that can really transition their game. It's really not that easy.
You're going to get an easy bucket, get to the free throw line. You're going to get yourself going.
How it has to be now, though.
And then you can start working your way out. But all the touches start in. You know, we're going to feed the big fella.
Or you get traded for Brandon Knight.
That was a really hard adjustment. That was a really, really hard adjustment.
I'm really curious about just the psychology of being the third guy in a big three, because I think Bosh went through this too.
Yep.
In Miami, and D-Wade briefly talked about this. It was more in reference.
He pointed at that man like that was D-Wade.
And people expect you to be D-Wade, or they expect you to be
even
Kevin
D-Wade
Love.
at the end of his career. They're like,
yeah,
you know.
But it's a different role, and so this is sort of two parts. But is the writing on the wall from day one, or do you sort of have to figure it out on the fly? And then, you know, once you sort of realize that, hey, I am the third guy here, how difficult is it to then deal with that criticism, knowing that you aren't the number one guy anymore?
Oh, you're going to get the finger pointed at you. I don't know if I was ready or, you know, because I it's like the 4 agreements, right? I don't know if you read the book, but like,
Wait, what book?
don't make any assumptions, don't make anything personal, or don't take anything personal. Those are like, 2 of the agreements, and I did both. Like, made assumptions like, oh yeah, I could easily be the second guy, and like, everybody says I'm going to take heat if I'm the third guy, but like, no. But I took the most heat, and
that's very true.
What I assumed was going to be true, made me look like,
take less shots and make more of them. That's what you're asked to as a third option. You cannot have games where you're like 3 for 12 because then, you're just not playing aggressive and you're taking bad shots and everything. It's like, that is exactly what Kevin Love went through. And really, any like third option out there, especially when you're playing with guys like LeBron and Kyrie, because those guys are allowed to have bad games, because when they have a good game, it's so mesmerizing. So I totally get what he's saying right here as somebody that has no experience as being a number 3 option, man. I'm usually the 5th option, but
like a fool, at least in my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to go out and do this. I'm going to, have a very, very productive season. It's going to be an easier transition than people think, because I went from being
the man,
All-NBA, all-star guy, to then being that third option. I'm thinking, I watched Bosh. I watch him pretty closely. Who didn't watch those Miami teams? But, maybe I can learn something from him. But it was just, every team has a different makeup. Every season is different. Every
player is different.
They want out of their guys. Every culture of every team is different. So that was a hell of an adjustment period for me, from going from a guy that shot almost 20 shots a game, who was catching on the elbow, running stuff in Rick Alleman's offense the entire time. My usage rate was very high, to then being, basically,
if you're open, you get to shoot.
Delegated or relegated as a 3-point shooter. Like, stand around, wait for your time, and occasionally we'll post you up. Like, you might get the first play of the game, and then you might not touch the ball.
Honestly, it's pretty similar what Jim Boylan did to Lauri Markkanen, minus having LeBron James and Kyrie Irving on his team. If you really think about it, that's exactly what happened to Lauri Markkanen. Like, he was playing a certain way, then Boylan came in there, were just like, no, man, you're just gonna shoot threes now. You're just gonna do this. We're gonna ignore everything else you do that's great. Which, I mean, in this case, made sense, because like opening up the court for LeBron and Kyrie, yeah, that makes sense. But what they did to Lauri Markkanen made no damn sense whatsoever. That's why the man got fired.
Ball for 8 minutes. And, like, let's just call it what it is. As a team defender, I can be pretty damn good. As an individual offender, but as an offensive player,
same.
It could be great. I still have that in me.
Yeah.
I feel like every big 3 is
my
unique.
coach always said about me.
I mean, that was a very unique situation, to where I had to take a back seat in order for us to, be as great as we were. And that's a hell of a back seat to 2 of, those guys were they were great.
Oh, he said a bad word.
Great. And I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, I learned a lot about my...
Not everybody's got Supermax contracts in their life, Kevin Love. Some people got to have their videos monetized. Just going to point that out real quick there,
Myself?
I'm just joking.
Like, I could have gone on and had more All-NBA careers. I could have been 25 and 10.
We got 2 glasses.
Like, 100%. I don't doubt it for a minute. But, like, trading that to winning like, you can never take a championship away from myself or the guys that we had. It's pretty cool.
Do you feel like
plus 3-1
time made things easier? You guys being together for as long as you were.
Yeah.
And part of why I asked is we talked about this with Jimmy.
Ask about the Kyrie drama.
About that a little bit with you guys last year, because you had your own version of a big 3. It was obviously very different pieces wise and everything like that.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to mesh things like that right away.
Yeah.
You're just the role that from just a straight up mental space, going from being a all-star Olympian and everything like that to a guy that's like stand in the corner and shoot threes is not a thing that anybody is going to be equipped to do like in 30 seconds.
He had like a lot of mental
it's
problems too, though, just from that. Not just from that, I just remember, like, sorry, I did kind of doze off, so hopefully I'm talking about the right thing here, man. I know I was just thinking about something. Let's do it real quick here. What he said.
Mental space. Going from being a all-star Olympian and everything like that to a guy that's like stand in the corner and
I have ACDC, guys. Sometimes
it's not a thing
focus.
that anybody is going to be equipped to do like in 30 seconds.
Yeah. It's
because he opened up
honestly,
about like
I
mental
should have
stuff.
probably had in my mind, but also from the other side, a little bit more clarity about my role was. But we had a rookie head coach.
That was Blatt, wasn't it?
Was initially supposed to take over a team that was like Kyrie and Tristan, Dion Waiters, potentially Gordon Hayward, to now coaching, LeBron, Kyrie, and Kevin Love.
Getting coached by LeBron, I should say.
More great players, like Tristan Thompson, Dion Waiters, like all those guys. So, yeah, I think it's I said, a really steep adjustment period. But for me, like I was on a contract year as well. Like they, as you know, like it was Anthony Bennett, it was Andrew Wiggins. There was a number of players that got traded in that draft for me in order to
he was on a 1-year deal when that
team.
happened? It's crazy.
The Cavs 14-50 season, and now all the way through now 6 years. But no, I think it took time. I could have left. I mean, on July 1, it was, but the first call was David Griffin.
That would have been a bitch-ass move, though. I mean, in hindsight, not really, because Andrew Wiggins is not great, and Anthony Bennett is... No, Anthony Bennett, I don't even remember. I don't even remember the course of his career. He's been that unforgettable, besides for just, like, being bad.
Griffin, amazing, awesome dude, straight shooter. He was just like, what's the deal? I was like, I think
really
this
like
year
this,
taught me anything.
piece.
It's just to have patience. Anywhere else I go, I'm probably not going to have... I'm not going to have the chance to win at this level. So, like, I'll keep sacrificing. I'll keep figuring out who I am on and off the floor, and let's roll the dice and see what happens.
Golden State.
If we need to, if something else needs to happen moving forward. But we came out that year. We struggled, like we always did in the regular season. I think we were the most talented, underachieving team maybe of all time in the regular season. I really do believe that. But
don't remember the
when it came
records.
playoff time, we were just locked and loaded. So. Historically came back from 3-1 that year, won a championship, and
rest is history.
I wouldn't trade.
That is the end of the video right there, guys. That was really cool. Like, a lot of this we kind of knew about Kevin Love just because, like I said, he's kind of opened up about some like the mental health issues and stuff like that with although that might have been after LeBron and Kyrie, though, but you got to imagine some of it stemmed from over there just from a lot of the hate you get, man. I'll say, on the daily basis, I'm just a small YouTuber out here, and I get hated on for a lot of things, but I get literally anything you're self-conscious about, people will make fun of. So, for Kevin Love being on, like, that grain to scale, probably was getting made fun of for everything. Like, his basketball skills, people were probably making fun of his body and stuff, and he got really good shape and everything, but still, man, sometimes people still be savage like that. So, yeah, I'm happy Kevin Love got himself a championship, definitely one of the well-deserving players, and, yeah, I'm one of the best I don't want to say the best, well, obviously not the best power forward, I don't want to say one of the best power forwards, definitely up there. Like, he's always been pretty solid, man, especially the T-Wolf days. So, what y'all think? Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.